everyone, welcome back to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly. Today we're doing a donator request video on Han from Stray Kids. We're going to do an ideal partner reading and we're going to do a current energies reading that I like to tack on to the end of these kind of readings. They were both requested, so thank you so much. And if you didn't see already, we started this off with a personality reading in the previous video, so I'll be sure to link that too. You can get all the Stray Kids goodness. I do have a big Stray Kids playlist that I'll go ahead and link. You know, and as I do Stray Kids related content, they'll always be added to that playlist. So, you know, be sure to check back. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do that. Before I get started, I just like to always say, tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. Everything is alleged and fictional. I'm just reading paper cards here and using my intuition. None of it is intended for libel or slander. So just take everything with a grain of salt, okay? And if you have any questions about my reading, be sure to leave them in the comments for me. I'll happily talk to you guys about that. I love hearing what you have to say. But I currently am only taking coffee donator requests. So I see a lot of requests in the comments all the time. I'm currently not open to new requests. When I am taking new requests, I will let you guys know. So be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with that. And I think with that said, we can start the reading. So yeah, Han from Stray Kids. I'm going to pull 6 of these archetype cards, and then I'm going to pull 6 oracle cards to lay on top of them, and they're going to be clarifiers for these archetype cards. And the archetype cards are basically going to read their traits. The reading is really about Jisung, right? And the traits are either traits that he struggles with, that he needs kind of someone to come in and help balance that out, or they're traits that the partner would ideally have. So again, we don't do love readings here. We don't look into any other person outside of the idol, truly. Like, I'm not trying to find who the partner is, or this is just like what Jisung would look for, what they would like, what they actually need, you know? So it's, again, we're saying ideal. An ideal is not a real person. It's just something that you look for, or you idealize, something that you admire, right? So with that said, let's go ahead and shuffle these cards. I know it's a lot, but I like to explain it in the beginning because I get so many requests for love readings, and I'm like, I don't do that. And I know the title, this might be a little confusing, but that's why I don't do like Jisung's future partner or Han's future partner. I don't do, you know, as a boyfriend. Like, that's not who I am as a reader. So I'm happy to send you to other readers. There's plenty of them. They're very popular on YouTube, but that's not what I do. And this reading is about Han. This reading is about what he needs and what complements him as a person. So hopefully that's still interesting for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get these shuffled, and I will pick 6 cards. That one. Again, we just did that personality reading and the orphan card came out then. I'm seeing it a lot lately with these idols. So I don't know what's going on with them, why they're feeling so alone. But it seems like, I think it was Hwasa that the orphan kept coming up as well in multiple parts of the reading. And it's just, oh no, it was in the ideal partner reading as well. So a lot of these idols are feeling kind of off and alone, and I don't know if that's just kind of the age we're living in right now is conducive for that, because you can't really go out and hang out like you used to. Although I think the new president in Korea is trying to change that for better or for worse. I'm not sure. I don't live in Korea, so I'm not trying to get in the middle of that. I just know that I think he wants to change a lot of the mandates, or he is already changing a lot of the mandates. So good luck. Good luck, friends. I hope everything's okay over there, kind of dealing with the same stuff here. So let's go ahead. Interesting. So far, a lot of these cards are in the light. I should say, if there are like any negative aspects, I do talk about them. I don't try to sugarcoat anything. I do try to be respectful as possible about it. But I am not going to hide if I see something negative. So again, if you don't like to hear anything negative about your idol, that's also something I would recommend to go to another channel for. Ooh. That's interesting to get the partnership card with the orphan. I will read these and elaborate on these pairs and why I think we got the clarifier that we did for the trait that we did. These are kind of like a rose petal finish. They have like a texture to them, so they don't fly out like the other cards do. So that's why I'm just going ahead and pulling them like that. Okay, and also this is my Southern Gothic Oracle. I haven't gotten a chance to use it yet on this channel, and I wanted to go ahead and mix it up and bring it out. Just to try to make sure these readings don't all feel the same. So yeah, we have the light attribute. So the light attribute of the orphan is someone who feels like they're kind of on a unique path that isn't fully understood by a lot of other people. It's like they're constantly living their life in this almost like state of fear. Because they're kind of they never feel like they have 2 feet on the ground, you know, like they're always, being whisked away here or like mentally having to absorb all this like information, right? Like rehearsing, planning, practicing. It's like, there's always some place they need to be. So they're always feeling like they never get to have that deep connection with other people. And if you watch the personality reading, we saw a lot of that. There is some distrust. There is some, again, they had that orphan card where it's like feeling like the only time they have peace is when they get to have like their little routine, and that routine doesn't really advocate or allow for meeting new people. So this is, you know, about truly wanting the other half. Ideally, I think it's saying like he wants someone very much like him. That's just going to complement, like, you know, finding the other half, finding the other shoe. It's very, I think, straightforward and to the point, is that because he finds solace in that stability, in that small realm of routine, he's basically going to need someone that's also into that same very similar routine, which usually is pretty hard to find. But so yeah, someone who is very much also looking for probably that like stable, regular, I don't want to say regular, traditional, with air quotes, home life. Maybe someone that is more into just staying at home, so when he comes home or when he comes back to his routine, that person is just easily a part of it. Again, we're talking about ideals here, so they're not always the most practical, but maybe he'll find someone who is really interested in kind of just being a housewife and just being there to help him in his home routine, or house partner, you know, it doesn't have to be housewife. So we have a student in the shadow aspect. So this card talks about, this student card in the shadow talks about how you're kind of always stuck in this studying phase, but you're scared to put that knowledge to use, right? And then we have altar water, which again is about ritual and renew, and, you know, kind of implying like transformation. So it is someone that's going to help him really push himself, like, to take that next step. There may be, again, some things that fear stops him from doing. You know, maybe, again, a lot of things he's always wanted to try, but because he gets stuck in that routine, he doesn't do it. Because you have to remember, if you're in this kind of crazy idle life, right, what small personal time you have is absolutely precious. So someone like him, allegedly from these readings, seems like when he does have that personal time, he doesn't want to waste it on something that might not be good or might not be what he expected. It's almost like that time's too valuable to risk it. But this person's going to press him to keep working on new experiences, because you can work new experiences into the ritual. You know, every Friday night you try a new restaurant, or you try something you haven't before, you know, you want to go, right, like maybe he's too scared to go rock climbing, so he goes to an indoor like rock climbing place, or they try a new you know, thing, you know, once a week. I don't know, but it's like you make the new thing part of the ritual. Like that's what you do on, you know, whatever, you know, on some kind of anniversary or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you just work that in, you know, because that's going to help you also feel like mentally open, you know, it's just going to open you up to not getting like so stuck in the routine that it becomes detrimental to you, right? Like routine is good, but only so far. So I think that's what we're seeing, is that you can't just read about these things. You can't just visit these places on the internet. Like you need to go. You need to go do that. You know, every time you have a weekend, you drive to a new place in the countryside you haven't been to yet. I don't know. These are just examples, but that's kind of like what I'm getting, is that making something new also part of your routine. Like that's just important for I think the mental health going forward there, and not feeling too stuck like in that rut. And then we have seeker in the light. And again, we saw that in the student too, where it's like liking to learn, liking to read about things. So it's like this person also, you know, hurricane lamp is a preparedness and an inner light. Like you never stop learning, you never stop growing, you never feel like enough is enough. So this person definitely wants to come in and maybe shake up his routine a bit, you know. It's like you're gonna learn all this stuff, you're gonna have all these widely varied interests, but then you got to do something with that. You can't just let it all live in a book, you know. So this is, I think, just part 2 of that student, where it's like the student and then the seeker. Like learn about it, but make it a process, or make it a point to go see it like for yourself. Like actually learn the wisdom from the thing, not just what other people learned from the thing, right? So, and then we have addict and bottle tree. So, yeah, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Helps you get like confront that you are stuck in a routine. You are stuck in a cycle. And then bottle tree is about mediation and intercession. So, I mean, truly, I keep seeing over and over again is that he has this cycle. He needs to break, but don't only look outward. Like also recognize that you're a part of the problem. Like this person really sounds like another Virgo, honestly. It's again, 2 pairs. Someone not actually very much like him, but almost like, I understand your issue because I had that issue, right? Like, so this is like, go out, understand, you know, you don't have to kill your entire routine, but you want to include new things in it. And, you know, also recognize where you're limiting yourself. Like this person is like, hey, understand that you sometimes are your own worst enemy. Like you need to work on parts of yourself. Like you need to open up parts of yourself, and you can only do that through personal, you know, work. So this person really acts like a mirror sometimes, or I should say this person ideally would be like a mirror to reflect things he needs to work on. But it's going to explain those things from a good place, from a place of love and nurturing and concern. That's like, hey, you can't eat that same meal 7 days in a row. Like, I'm just here to break it to you. So it's like they need someone that can see those things and confront those things. And then we have Messiah in the light, and the raccoon, which is curiosity and perseverance. And then the Messiah speaks to like serving humanity with humility. So again, like this perseverance, this person, I see this a lot in these ideal partner readings, like a lot, through different combinations of the card. It's not just like this particular card comes up all the time, but I see a lot of like serving humanity, serving people. Like I think idols get caught up in just the fact that they're on television, or they have fans telling them all the time like, hey, music changed my life, hey, being your fan changed my life, and they think that that's serving humanity, and it is, but to a very limited extent. And I think a lot of times they ideally would like to do more, they just don't know what to do, so they idealize a partner that can come in and be like, hey, let's point this energy somewhere to help more people. You know, let's volunteer, or let's donate money, or or open a charity, or you know what I mean? Like I think they want to, they just don't want to get too caught up in any one maybe political standpoint, like so they need someone to come in and help them with that. I just see that a lot. And the curiosity from the raccoon can talk about a partner that helps them learn more ways, you know, to serve people, to be a better humanitarian, right? Because sometimes I think idols too can feel like, well, if I just donate money, I'm just throwing money at things, I'm not actually doing anything. But maybe they also just don't have the time to, and that's an inner conflict they face, so they want a partner that can help them also figure that out. So then lastly, we have advocate in the light. So, you know, again, we're seeing things that inspires you to put compassion into action, literally what I was just saying. And then the cowrie shells speak about passion and feminine power. So a lot of times when I read feminine energy, it's a nurturing energy. It's helping people that are struggling, or helping youth. And it could be something like that, really, is helping like other kids, helping people that can't take care of themselves, maybe elderly as well, sick. Oh, my stomach is growling. Inspires you to put compassion into action, you know, so I think that's pretty straightforward. You know, this partner, again, is going to help them ideally find a way to do more for people, not just creatively, or unless they're talking about trying to find a way to organize events musically that would help. Like lately I've been thinking a lot about the 80s. You know, we had like Farm Aid, Live Aid, like all these huge artists got together to like raise money for different charities that needed it. And I wonder if Han also thinks along those lines, like maybe there could be something that helps, you know, raise money for either people, you know, hospitalized for COVID, or, you know, other countries. You know, there's been a lot of people donating to Ukraine. There's been a lot of stuff like that. And maybe that's kind of what he's going through, is that he's looking for a way to do more, but he's scared. You know, sometimes too, when you're in a group, it's harder. When you're single, you know, you're older and single and married, you can be more divisive in your choices. You're not going to hurt anybody, but maybe because he's in a group, he's worried if he supports this and something negative comes of it, it could hurt the group. You know what I mean? Like there's kind of probably that too. So sometimes when you have a partner, maybe it can make him feel less scared about stepping out and doing that more, being seen as that kind of person. It could be that fear of that kind of attention. You know, so there's a lot of him being scared to step out and do something new, and a lot of push for him to do more, just general exploration, do more general exploration, more personal exploration, and more humanitarian exploration, and a partner that's going to facilitate all of that. So I think we do see someone who is kind of scared to try new things, which we got in the personality reading. And they're looking for a partner who's really gonna show them more to the world. Like I think they feel like they're overwhelmed by their schedule and by their popularity and tour and this and that, with the glamorous part of being an idol, but maybe the internal like the actual internal fulfillment is lacking for him somewhere, and he's looking for someone to help find that. So yeah, that's what I have for the ideal partner reading. Sometimes these things can be weirdly specific, and sometimes they're just very vague. Depends on the person. You know, he may not truly know what he wants yet. You know, so we're just reading on kind of what he idealizes. The energy right now. Again, these things change as people mature and they get older, or they know what they want, they learn what they don't want. So yeah, you know, down the road, if we ever do this kind of reading again, it may come different. You know, you know, as someone who is 39, the person I idealized and wanted to date when I was 20 is very different than the partner I look for now. So I expect that happens with idols too. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the tarot cards out, and we'll do the current energies reading. This is my Light Seers Tarot. So, Han's current energies. Okay. I just want to give it one more shuffle because I haven't used this deck in a while, and I feel like sometimes I gotta activate it. Maybe I did use it recently, but either way, sometimes I feel like I gotta change the energy in it before I start the new reading. Right. One more, and then we'll pull some cards. Okay. All right, Han. Currently, how are you feeling? How is Han doing? Okay, these come out after I ask my questions, so we'll start there. Ooh. Now, I don't read Three of Swords as directly as heartbreak. It could be. Sometimes it's also just a project or a plan with other people. Fell through. Didn't work out the way you wanted it to. This card is kind of dramatic. And again, if you read if you watched the personality reading with me, with Han, he does have a flair for the dramatic. So it could be that. We got that Hermit, which keeps talking about that orphan mode, that off on your own mode. It's with the Three of Wands, though. That's good. That kind of refocuses this energy. So we have something that looks like it didn't work out, but the Chariot is like, but things are still rolling. So even if he's upset, he hasn't had time to process. I also have the Tower, though. So sometimes I get this if they're going through a great loss in their family. I don't know if he's personally going through something. Usually an upright Tower means like something big will change, but with the Three of Wands here, it's also talking about how that change is going to expand his avenues in life, like kind of one door shut, another door open. It looks like there's a couple things here, smaller and then larger in his life, that are going to redirect his energies. Seven of Cups upside down is kind of like you're out of options. King of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. This is almost like finances. It's like not knowing where to put your money. But Pentacles can also mean your time. Kind of anything material. Again, this is distrust of people. Kind of feeling defensive. It could be scared of how people are going to take this comeback. Again, Han, maybe not really, may not really Han may not really be into kind of the more experimental concepts. He may be pretty scared of that kind of thing. So he could be scared of rejection, scared of criticisms with the comeback. There's something about like, yeah, I'm not happy, but I have to roll along with it. But like also feeling kind of maybe stuck. You know, it could be like, if I don't, he may not like this comeback, but it feels like he's stuck and he's got to just commit to it anyway and keep his opinions to himself. Five of Pentacles, though, is kind of coming out of kind of like harder times. I don't know. It does feel like he's about to hit something big. Like his life's about to run into this big wall that's going to make him evaluate his where he's putting his energies. And it could be the comeback. It could be more than the comeback. I hope it's not some kind of negative press associated with the comeback. You know, I know whenever there's like past scandal issues, they like to come back up during comebacks. I don't know. Or it's just that if this comeback does well, even if he doesn't like the concept, if this comeback does well, it may still just open up a lot of new doors they didn't have before, because, you know, they're able to experiment even more or something to that nature. Like, I don't like it, but I'm going to continue through it for the end. Like, the end justifies the means almost, because again, the Tower is life changing, but while it is taking away the foundation and rebuilding it, it's not always bad. I mean, it can mean that this is what you needed. This is going to help you expand in the future. So kind of like that, like he's unsure. He doesn't know if he likes the ride that he's on right now. He feels very limited and like a lot of options were taken away from him. But at the end, like he's going to go through some serious changes. I just don't know if they're personal or professional, you know, because the Hermit's like scared to talk about it. Sometimes it can mean it's very personal. And I've definitely had that come up like that in readings before, but, you know, we'll have to just see how that plays out. I can pull a card and see if this Tower moment is... This came for the Hermit, though, so I'm going to leave that there. The Hierophant talks about, again, like learning lessons. Or kind of in this case, just mean he knows better. Like, he knows that's the right thing to do. Whoa, okay. Imbalance and rebirth. Yeah, there's... Again, transformation, killing something off so that you have something new. So also, part of me wonders if... Again, either solo or personal projects that they really wanted to do are going to be or almost like a reward for if this comeback does well. It's almost like that too. Like you'll get to do something you were never allowed to do before. So it could just be as simple as that. Like there's just going to be allowed more freedom, more opportunities, more solo opportunities, or just projects they're personally in charge of more if this does well. But he's got a lot of fear behind it and a lot of feeling stuck and maybe ever so slightly defensive about how he feels and what he thinks about this time currently. So yeah, but it's going to facilitate lots of big changes for him. Huge changes. So we'll see that play out. But yeah, you know, growth only comes from pain and only comes from change. Change is harder for some people. Change is easier for others. I think change is very hard for Han. I think, again, that's par for the course with him. So yeah, I'll be sure to link my other reading. Thank you, donator, so much for requesting this. I hope things are good. I mean, it ends on this Three of Wands, which is about expansion and opportunity. So I think, and also it talks about the phrase, your ship's coming in. So it's like waiting for that, almost that, again, reward. So it's like something good will come of all of this, but he may just feel really overwhelmed at the moment. He either is or currently or very soon to be going through a lot of big changes. So he's growing up. He's going to be growing up here in front of our very eyes. So again, I wouldn't be too scared for him, but I will say, you know, he's in a growth spurt. He's in a growth period right now, and he is kind of questioning some of the choices he's made. But hopefully everything turns out for the best. So thanks again. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed your readings. Again, anybody else who's looking to get this kind of reading, check out my Kpop page. You can order, you know, a single reading on your idol for a pretty small fee. So a pretty small donation I would appreciate. Yeah. Or, you know, if you just want to tip because you like my content and you want to see it continue and you want to see me buy more pretty cards to share with you guys on the channel, yeah, tips are greatly appreciated. So have a great day, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.